These prophetic words begin Levin's newest book, American Marxism. It is the ubiquitous Marxist movement that the left is using to target our kids, our jobs, and our American way of life. Once a mostly unrelatable, fringe, and subterranean movement, it is here, it is everywhere. You, your children, and your grandchildren are now immersed in it, and it threatens to destroy the greatest nation ever established, along with your freedom, family, and security. The Marxism movement operates as the counter-revolution to the American Revolution. It seeks to destroy American society, writes Levin, and impose autocratic rule, which is the opposite of the American Revolution that sought to protect American society and institute representative government. This isn't the first time the award-winning constitutional conservative radio host, Fox News television star, and author has sounded the warning about Marxism. Over the past decade, Levin has written 2 other books on the Marxism movement, Ameritopia and Rediscovering Americanism, and the Tyranny of Progressivism. Although he speaks almost daily about it on his radio and television shows, in this book Levin's urgent warning is not merely to expose the permeation of what he terms American Marxism throughout every aspect of American society. American Marxism also puts forth a daunting and complex mission designed to expose and ultimately defeat American Marxism. The purpose of American Marxism is to awaken the millions of patriotic Americans who love their country, freedom, and family to the reality of Marxism's rapidly spreading influence throughout our nation. What is occurring in our country is not a temporary fad or passing event. American Marxism exists, it is here and now, indeed it is pervasive, and its multitude of hybrid but often interlocking movements are actively working to destroy our society and culture and overthrow the country as we know it. Levin expertly explains who today's American Marxists are, what they believe, and what their true aims are, using specific examples of their writings, ideas, and activities, while also providing his own in-depth commentary and analysis throughout. Yesterday's social agitators, such as Richard Cloward and Francis Fox Piven, George Hegel, Julian Benda, Eric Hofer, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and of course Karl Marx, inform the social activists and disruptors of today through splinter groups and movements like Black Lives Matter, BLM, Critical Race Theory, CRT, the 1619 Project, Antifa, and other radical anti-American movements. Each hateful group claims to champion the victims of oppression, whether that oppression is caused by race, gender, sexual orientation, or any number of leftist perceived social injustices, and some, like CRT, are now being taught directly to our children in public schools. CRT theorists and activists declare that not only is society incurably racist and white-dominated, but there is no point in attempting to assert or pursue your rights, because such rights really are not rights at all. Why? Because they do not deliver the kind of Marxist egalitarianism and people's, workers, paradise demanded by the critical race movement. Indeed, rights are used to uphold the white racial structure and deny minorities power. And whether these groups overtly state it or not, Levin writes that we can be certain each group's ultimate goal is the same as the Marxist goal, the destruction of the existing society. Most of these groups, like Critical Theory, CT, have splintered into groups such as Latino/A Critical Theory, LatCrit, LGBT, Asian American, and Muslim groups. Levin posits that American Marxism has not only infiltrated our schools, universities, the media, and corporations, but it also informs our politics as well. As with his embrace of CRT, soon after his swearing-in, Biden signed 5 executive actions unilaterally changing immigration policy, all of which were sympathetic to and supportive of the Latino/A Critical Race Theory, LatCrit, movement. Among other things, he ended construction of the border wall, ended the Trump interior enforcement policies, instituted a 100-day deportation moratorium, and proposed amnesty for individuals without legal status. Moreover, Biden ended agreements the Trump administration had secured with Mexico and other Central American countries to send asylum seekers to one of 3 Central American countries. Is all lost? Not yet, says Levin, but the situation is dire, and it'll be a struggle to bring the country back from the precipice. However, he is clear that if we don't put a stop to Marxism's newest incarnation here, and now in America, all will most certainly be lost. What can we do? In his final chapter, Levin provides some concrete ideas and suggestions on how to proceed, but by no means does he supply an exhaustive list of possible actions or action areas, with the purpose being that it's merely a starting point of the struggle to come. In American Marxism, Mark Levin delivers a swift yet well thought out and thoroughly researched treatise on exactly where American liberty currently stands, who is trying to destroy it, and what we can do to fortify it for generations to come. If you've been confused by the left and their often contradictory or hypocritical actions, or you simply want to understand what's happening in our country today, where these ideas came from, and what can be done about it, this is the book for you. I believe everyone should read Mark Levin's new book, American Marxism. Also give a copy to your family and friends.